God says, "My child, take a deep breath before you read another word, because what you truly need right now is not panic about money, it is peace about your future. I know the weight you have been carrying. I know the silent calculations you make in your mind, the bills you review again and again, the plans you delay because you are unsure, the moments you smile in front of others while quietly worrying inside. You have asked yourself many nights how long this pressure will last, how long you must stretch what feels too small, how long you must pretend you are not tired. Tonight is not about magic falling from the sky. Tonight is about a shift beginning in your financial story, and it begins within you before it ever shows up around you. You have been thinking that money is your biggest problem, but the real burden has been fear. Fear that you will not have enough. Fear that you will fall behind. Fear that you will disappoint someone. Fear that your hard work is unnoticed. God says, "I have seen your effort. I have seen the sacrifices you made quietly. I have seen the times you chose responsibility over comfort. I have seen the discipline you practiced even when nobody applauded you. Nothing has been wasted. Even the waiting has been shaping you. Even the delay has been strengthening you. Even the pressure has been teaching you wisdom you will need in the season ahead." When you hear 9:00 p.m., do not imagine a bag of money appearing at your door. Imagine something far more powerful. Imagine clarity entering your mind. Imagine an idea forming that you had overlooked before. Imagine a conversation opening a door you thought was closed. Imagine confidence replacing hesitation. Financial breakthrough rarely begins with numbers, it begins with alignment. It begins with courage to take one step you were afraid to take. It begins with trusting your ability instead of doubting it. Tonight is a symbolic moment, a reminder that your story is not stuck. Your situation is not permanent. Your current balance does not define your future abundance. God says, "I am not asking you to open something out of fear that you will lose everything. I am inviting you to open your perspective. Open your heart to possibility. Open your mind to solutions you have ignored because worry was louder than wisdom. You have been so focused on what you lack that you have forgotten what you carry. You carry resilience. You carry creativity. You carry experience. You carry lessons learned the hard way. You carry determination that has not broken despite setbacks. That is wealth in seed form, and seeds become harvest when they are nurtured instead of doubted. Tonight, instead of counting what is missing, count what you have survived. Instead of replaying worst-case scenarios, replay the times you overcame something you once thought impossible. Remember when you thought you would not recover from that one financial mistake? You did. Remember when you thought you would not manage that unexpected expense? You found a way. Remember when you thought you were out of options? A path appeared. Those were not accidents. That was guidance. That was growth. That was preparation. Financial freedom is not only about a large amount arriving. It is about becoming the kind of person who can manage abundance without fear. If a large opportunity comes to you, will you be ready to handle it calmly? If an increase appears, will you know how to protect it wisely? That readiness is forming inside you now. The stress you faced is shaping discipline. The waiting you endured is shaping patience. The obstacles you navigated are shaping strategy. Nothing has been meaningless. God says stop telling yourself that you are unlucky. Stop comparing your timeline with others. You do not see the full picture of their journey, and they do not see yours. Your path is unique because your purpose is unique. Money is a tool, not your identity. It will come and go, but your value remains constant. When you stop tying your worth to your wallet, you begin attracting stability instead of anxiety. Stability grows when your decisions are guided by calm thinking instead of emotional fear. At 9 p.m. tonight, create a new ritual. Instead of checking your account with dread, sit quietly and express gratitude for what is already working in your life. Gratitude changes the way you think. A calm mind makes better financial decisions than a stressed one. A hopeful heart notices opportunities that a fearful heart ignores. You are closer to improvement than you think, not because of luck, but because of the strength you have built quietly. This is the turning point, not because of a countdown, but because you are ready to think differently. Your financial problems do not define you. They are temporary chapters, not permanent identities. You are learning how to rise with wisdom instead of rushing with panic. You are learning how to plan with faith instead of reacting with fear. That internal shift is the beginning of external change. Believe this deeply: you are not destined to struggle forever. You are not meant to live in constant worry. You are capable of building stability step by step. Trust the process. Trust your growth. Trust that your consistency will produce results. Tonight is not about pressure. It is about promise. Not a promise of instant millions, but a promise of progress, direction, and increasing peace around your finances. Stay steady. Stay disciplined. Stay hopeful. Your story is still unfolding, and better chapters are ahead. God says, "My child, now that you have calmed your heart and understood that breakthrough does not come from panic but from alignment, I want you to look deeper into what has truly been happening in your life." You have been measuring your progress only by visible results, by numbers in your account, by how quickly things move, by how others seem to advance faster than you, but you have not been measuring the invisible growth that has been taking place inside your mind and character. Every financial delay forced you to become wiser. Every limitation taught you how to prioritize. Every mistake refined your judgment. You thought you were falling behind, yet you were actually being prepared for a level of responsibility you could not have handled before. Abundance without wisdom becomes loss, but abundance with maturity becomes stability, and stability is what I am building in you. There were moments when you almost gave up trying. Moments when you said to yourself that maybe this is just how life will always be. Moments when you compared your situation to others and felt embarrassed or discouraged. But you kept going. You adjusted your plans. You searched for solutions. You learned from setbacks. That perseverance is not small. That resilience is not ordinary. It is the foundation of lasting success. Many people pray for wealth but are not ready to manage it wisely. Many ask for increase but have not yet built the discipline to sustain it. You, however, have been building that discipline quietly through experience, through trial and error, through lessons that felt uncomfortable at the time but are shaping you now into someone far stronger than you realize. When you think about 9:00 p.m., do not imagine a sudden miracle disconnected from effort. Imagine instead a turning point in mindset. Imagine a decision forming in you to stop operating from fear and start operating from confidence. Imagine yourself choosing long-term thinking over short-term panic. Imagine yourself recognizing opportunities instead of overlooking them because doubt was louder than hope. Financial change often begins the moment you stop saying, "I can't," and start saying, "I will learn." The difference between struggle and progress is often a shift in perspective. Tonight can symbolize that shift for you. You have been asking for a sign that things will improve. This is your reminder that improvement is already in motion. It may not look dramatic yet, but subtle changes are taking place. Perhaps a new idea has been forming in your mind. Perhaps a new connection is about to open a conversation. Perhaps you are gaining clarity about a skill you can develop or an opportunity you once ignored. These small sparks matter. Large financial growth is rarely one big jump. It is usually a series of consistent, intentional steps taken with faith and focus. Do not underestimate the power of one wise decision repeated daily. God says stop attaching your peace to a specific amount of money. Peace does not wait for numbers to increase. Peace grows when trust increases. If you learn to remain calm and strategic even when resources are limited, you will be unstoppable when resources expand. Tonight, instead of fearing loss, choose gratitude for what you have already been protected from. There were financial disasters that did not happen. There were mistakes you avoided. There were worse scenarios that never unfolded. Protection is also provision, even if you did not recognize it at the time. Your financial problems are not a punishment. They are a season. Seasons change. What matters is how you grow within them. When you begin to see challenges as training instead of failure, everything shifts. Training prepares you. Failure discourages you. You have not been failing, you have been training. Training to budget wisely. Training to think creatively. Training to separate needs from wants. Training to recognize your strengths. Training to value long-term security over temporary appearance. That training will pay off in ways you cannot yet see clearly. If a large amount of money comes into your life, it will not stay because of luck. It will stay because of your mindset. Your confidence is growing. Your discipline is strengthening. Your awareness is sharpening. That is the true breakthrough. Money flows more easily to those who respect it, manage it wisely, and do not let it control their emotions. You are learning emotional control around finances. You are learning patience. You are learning planning. These lessons are priceless. Tonight, when the clock moves toward 9 p.m., take a quiet moment to reflect not on what you lack but on who you are becoming. Speak gratitude out loud. Affirm that your situation is improving step by step. Visualize stability in your life. Visualize yourself handling opportunities with wisdom and calm confidence. Visualization is not fantasy, it trains your mind to recognize possibility. When your mind expects progress, you start behaving in ways that create progress. That alignment between belief and action is powerful. God says you are not meant to live in constant financial stress. You are meant to grow beyond it. But growth requires participation. Be willing to learn new skills. Be willing to adjust habits. Be willing to seek knowledge. Be willing to take calculated risks when guided by wisdom. Your breakthrough will not erase effort, it will multiply the results of your effort. Stay consistent. Stay hopeful. Stay disciplined. You are closer to stability than you think. What once felt impossible is slowly becoming manageable. What once felt overwhelming is becoming clearer. What once felt heavy is becoming structured. Progress does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers through small improvements that compound over time. Trust the process. Trust your resilience. Trust that tonight represents not a countdown of fear but a reminder of faith. Your story with money is not ending in struggle. It is transitioning into strength. Remain calm. Remain focused. Remain grateful. The seeds you have planted through patience and perseverance are beginning to grow, and you will soon see the results of the discipline you maintained even when it was difficult. God says, "My child, by now you are beginning to understand that your financial breakthrough is not built on pressure, fear, or superstition, but on preparation, growth, and alignment, and I want you to see something even deeper about this season of your life. You have been tested in ways that forced you to confront your relationship with money, not just your need for it. You have felt the stress of not having enough, but you have also learned the value of what you do have. You have experienced limitation, but through that limitation you have discovered creativity. You have faced uncertainty, yet you kept moving forward anyway. That quiet determination is more powerful than any sudden gain because it creates stability that cannot easily be shaken. There were days when you questioned your decisions, when you wondered if you should have chosen a different path, when you compared your situation to others and felt behind, but comparison only shows you a small fragment of someone else's journey while hiding their struggles and sacrifices. Your journey has been uniquely tailored to shape you into someone capable of handling greater responsibility. Financial increase without inner growth would have overwhelmed you before, but now you are different. You think more carefully. You observe more closely. You plan more strategically. You value sustainability over quick success. That shift in thinking is not accidental. It is the result of everything you have endured. When you hear the phrase that your financial problems will end tonight, understand that ending does not always mean a dramatic overnight change, sometimes it means the end of confusion, the end of fear-driven decisions, the end of emotional reactions, and the beginning of clarity and structure. Clarity is the foundation of financial stability. When your mind is clear, your choices improve. When your choices improve, your outcomes gradually improve. Tonight can represent the moment you decide that you will no longer allow anxiety to control your financial thinking. You will begin to operate from discipline and confidence instead of worry. God says you are not waiting for rescue, you are stepping into readiness. You are not dependent on luck, you are building capability. You are not powerless, you are learning control. Think about how much you have matured in handling money compared to years ago. Think about how your priorities have shifted. Think about how you now recognize the difference between impulse and intention. That growth matters. It means that when opportunities appear, you will not waste them. You will recognize them, evaluate them wisely, and act with confidence instead of hesitation. There is also something important you must understand about abundance: it responds to alignment. When your mindset aligns with responsibility, opportunity aligns with you. When your habits align with discipline, stability aligns with you. When your belief aligns with possibility, progress aligns with you. You have been slowly aligning yourself even when you did not notice it. Every time you chose to save instead of spend unnecessarily, every time you chose to learn instead of complain, every time you chose patience instead of panic, you were strengthening your foundation. Tonight, instead of waiting for a sudden deposit, focus on depositing belief into yourself. Deposit confidence into your mindset. Deposit gratitude into your perspective. Gratitude shifts your emotional state, and your emotional state influences your decisions. A calm, grateful mind sees options clearly. A stressed mind overlooks solutions. You are being invited to move from stress to strategy. From fear to faith. From reaction to intention. That shift changes everything. Your financial challenges were never meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. Refinement removes weakness and strengthens character. You are becoming more resilient. You are becoming more focused. You are becoming more aware of your value beyond numbers. And when you stop tying your identity to temporary financial circumstances, you gain emotional freedom that allows you to make smarter decisions. God says believe that progress is already forming. Maybe it begins with a new idea that increases your income gradually. Maybe it begins with a connection that opens a door. Maybe it begins with a new level of discipline that multiplies what you already earn. Maybe it begins with courage to pursue something you once doubted. However it begins, it will not be random. It will be connected to the growth you have already experienced. You are not meant to live in constant survival mode. You are meant to build, to expand, to create stability for yourself and those you care about. But building requires patience. Expansion requires vision. Stability requires structure. You are learning all three. That is why this season, though challenging, has not broken you. It has strengthened you. When 9:00 p.m. arrives, let it symbolize commitment. Commit to smarter habits. Commit to continuous learning. Commit to believing that your story improves step by step. Commit to seeing yourself as capable of managing greater abundance. When your identity shifts from "I am struggling" to "I am growing," your behavior follows that identity, and your results begin to reflect it. Trust this deeply: your financial problems are not permanent. They are temporary chapters in a longer story of resilience and growth. You are moving forward even when progress feels slow. You are closer to stability than you realize. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay hopeful. The transformation you are seeking is unfolding through you before it ever appears around you, and that internal transformation is the true beginning of lasting abundance. God says, "My child, by this point in your journey you are beginning to realize that true financial transformation does not come from panic, urgency, or fear of loss. It comes from awareness, discipline, and inner stability. And tonight is not about a sudden event falling from the sky, it is about a deep internal decision that changes the direction of your life permanently." You have spent months, maybe even years, worrying about money, thinking about what might go wrong, replaying mistakes in your mind, calculating bills, and feeling the pressure of responsibility pressing against your chest. But what you did not see was that during all of that pressure you were becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. Every difficult season trained your mind to think more carefully, every delay taught you patience, every setback sharpened your awareness, and now you stand at a point where your mindset is finally ready for growth that lasts. You once believed that a large amount of money would solve everything instantly, but now you are starting to understand that without emotional balance and financial discipline, even abundance can disappear quickly, and that is why this season has been about preparation more than possession. You have learned to question your impulses instead of acting on them. You have learned to distinguish between wants and needs. You have learned that comparison steals peace and gratitude restores clarity. These lessons were not random, they were shaping you for stability. Tonight represents the closing of one mental chapter and the beginning of another. It is the night you stop thinking of yourself as stuck and start seeing yourself as strategic. It is the moment you stop saying, "I can't," and begin saying, "I am building." It is the shift from survival thinking to growth thinking. There were moments when you felt embarrassed about your situation, moments when you avoided conversations about money, moments when you felt behind compared to others your age or in your circle, but understand this deeply: everyone's timeline is different, and your pace has been intentional. You were not delayed, you were developing. If certain opportunities had come earlier, you might have mishandled them. If certain increases had arrived before your discipline improved, you might have wasted them. But now you are thinking differently. You are planning instead of reacting. You are observing instead of rushing. You are considering long-term outcomes instead of short-term excitement. That maturity is the real beginning of financial breakthrough. When you hear that your financial problems will end tonight, let that mean the end of fear-driven choices. Let it mean the end of self-doubt when it comes to your ability to create income. Let it mean the end of believing that you are unlucky. Luck is unpredictable, but preparation creates predictable progress. And you have been preparing even when you did not realize it. Every time you searched for knowledge, every time you explored new opportunities, every time you resisted unnecessary spending, you were quietly shifting your future. Your growth has been invisible to others, but it has been very real inside you. God says that abundance flows toward clarity. When your mind is clear, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your results gradually improve. This is not about a single hour on the clock, it is about a permanent change in perspective. 9 p.m. can symbolize commitment, a line drawn between your old habits and your new direction. Imagine that moment as the second you decide that you will no longer allow anxiety to control your finances. You will no longer allow temporary setbacks to define your identity. You will no longer speak negatively about your own potential. Words shape belief, belief shapes behavior, and behavior shapes outcome. Tonight, choose words that empower you. You are more capable than you think. You have more ideas than you acknowledge. You have more resilience than you give yourself credit for. Financial progress often begins with a single decision repeated consistently. A decision to save. A decision to invest in learning. A decision to build a skill. A decision to network intentionally. A decision to believe that improvement is possible. Repetition turns small decisions into large results. This is how problems end, not magically, but methodically. Look at how far you have already come. The version of you from a year ago would not handle today's responsibilities the same way you do now. You have matured. You have grown. You have become more aware of consequences and more intentional about action. That growth is not small. It is significant. It means that when opportunity appears, you will not hesitate in confusion, you will evaluate with wisdom. You will not chase recklessly. You will choose carefully. You will not panic under pressure, you will respond with calm thinking. God says that your value is not measured by your current bank balance. Your value is measured by your mindset, your work ethic, your integrity, and your willingness to improve. Money responds to value creation. When you focus on becoming more valuable, through skills, service, discipline, and creativity, financial increase follows naturally over time. You are entering a season where you understand this principle more deeply. Instead of asking, "Why don't I have more?" you will begin asking, "How can I create more value?" That question alone changes your trajectory. Tonight, let peace replace urgency. Let confidence replace doubt. Let structure replace chaos. Sit quietly and visualize the stable, secure version of yourself that you are becoming. See yourself making thoughtful financial decisions. See yourself handling income wisely. See yourself growing steadily instead of fluctuating emotionally. That vision is not fantasy, it is direction. Your brain moves toward what you repeatedly imagine with belief. Feed it images of strength, not struggle. You are not meant to live in constant tension about money. You are meant to learn from challenges and rise above them. Financial difficulties are not punishments. They are teachers. And you have learned enough to graduate into a new phase of stability. Stay disciplined. Stay hopeful. Stay focused. The transformation is not about a sudden amount appearing. It is about you becoming the type of person who can attract, manage, and multiply abundance over time. Your financial problems are ending not because of one dramatic moment, but because your thinking is evolving. And once your thinking changes, your direction changes. Once your direction changes, your results eventually change. Continue moving forward. Continue improving. Continue believing in your capacity to grow. The future you desire is built step by step, decision by decision, and you are already walking that path with more strength than you realized. If this message shifted your perspective even slightly, don't scroll away without responding to it. Take one quiet moment and comment, "I am building my abundance," as a declaration that you are choosing discipline over fear and growth over doubt. Like this video so it can reach someone else who needs encouragement in their financial journey tonight, and subscribe if you are committed to becoming stronger, wiser, and more stable with every step you take. Your breakthrough begins with the mindset you decide to keep.